You're watching Fox 10 Phoenix. Now.
The Fox 10 News alert. A man is in bad shape after an overnight mobile home fire in the far west valley.
Irene Snyder is live in Buckeye. This is in the area of Apache and Yuma roads with the very latest on this. Irene, what can you tell us?
Good morning, guys. Well, this is the Buena Vista Mobile Home Park. Now, we did learn from firefighters that one man was found in critical condition inside a home here inside the Buena Vista Home Park just around 1:15 this morning when the call for the fire came out. Now, they found him inside the home, were able to get him out quickly and rush him to the hospital. According to the fire department, he still remains in critical condition. Now, you can take a look and see some of that video from earlier on this morning in the overnight hours. Again, the fire breaking out just around 1:15 this morning southwest of Apache and Yuma here in the Buckeye area. Now, firefighters say when they arrived on scene, they were able to quickly put out the fire. Again, the man inside the home at the time, they got him out and rushed him to the hospital, still in critical condition. We're still waiting on an update on the man's condition as well as any information about what happened to cause this fire. No word about the cause at this point. But again, that man, last we heard from the fire department, is still in critical condition following this mobile home park fire that started around 1:15 this morning. Make sure to stay with Fox 10 for the latest on air and online as we continue to follow this developing story. But for now, we will send it back to you guys.
All right, Irene, we appreciate that live report. Thank you. This morning, we're also hearing from the family of an Arizona grandmother struck and killed by the city's senior transportation van, which had just dropped her off at her house.
So this was yesterday afternoon in Casa Grande. Danielle Miller live with the details. Danielle.
Well, good morning. Yeah, we spoke with that woman's family. Unfortunately, a tragedy, and they're telling us that it's not just a tragedy for them, but the entire community. We're talking about Eva Berger. She was just celebrated her 81st birthday. All of that happening back in February. She's a mother. She's a grandmother. She's a great grandmother. Her family says that she spent her weekdays at the Dorothy Powell Senior Adult Center. She would get picked up and dropped off at her home, and that's exactly what she did yesterday afternoon. A city transportation van picked her up from the center and took her home, but we're told she never made it inside.
What I was told is she got ran over twice. She went forward and then the lady backed over her.
It's unfortunate that we lost her to a tragedy because she was dedicated to Dorothy Powell. But here we are as a family coming together, suffering and remembering her as what we remember her as, Eva, Big Mom.
And the city of Casa Grande released a statement saying a city staff member transporting seniors to their homes was involved in a traffic incident that resulted in the death of Eva Berger. DPS is investigating this now. Still no word on if the driver in this case could face any charges. We'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Danielle, thank you. Also this morning, a Fox follow-up on a deadly shootout at a party in West Phoenix from over the weekend.
Yeah, we are now hearing from the woman's family who was killed in all that gunfire. Amanda Franco was killed and a teenager was hospitalized when hundreds of shots rang out in the area of 35th Avenue and McDowell Road. Community members honored the 21-year-old victim with a candlelight vigil last night. We spoke to her mother, who says she wants justice for her daughter. Take a listen.
I don't know why this happened to her. She's just at the wrong place at the wrong time. But I just want justice for her. I'm never going to see her again. She's not going to be here. Never going to see her again.
So Phoenix police say there was a large group of people at the scene when the shots were fired. Investigators are asking for any video of what happened. They're asking for cell phone or security cam video, and you can remain anonymous. We have more information on how to submit that video on our website, fox10phoenix.com.
This is a wild story. It's like something out of the Wild West. Maybe something you see with John Wayne on the big screen. A train robbery in northern Arizona.
Yeah, investigators have now arrested 3 suspects. So listen to this. They are accused of robbing a train back in January. Officials say the suspects actually led police on an 80-mile chase before they were finally caught. The Department of Homeland Security says the robbery is part of a growing trend of thieves targeting trains to steal Nike tennis shoes. Union leaders say it's getting dangerous for engineers and conductors.
They're cutting the airline, which puts the train into emergency. Then, of course, the conductor and the engineer on the head end of the train, they're not sure what's causing it. So the conductor's required to walk back and find the problem.
So I'm confused. How do they know the Nike shoes are on the train?
I don't know.
Is it an inside job?
Well, here's the thing. I think they're a little behind the times because I think Adidas are the hot shoes these days.
Oh,
So,
that switch?
yeah, there's been a switch in the last few months.
So listen to this. We're told that there have been 20 arrests in the last year from multiple different train heists. Pretty wild. Jury selection resumes this morning in the trial of Lori Vallow Daybell.
This is the first of two trials for the so-called doomsday mom. The jury pool has now been dwindled down from 200 to just more than 50. The judge also addressed a number of motions filed, including the state's attempt to exclude several of Lori's witnesses because some have not yet been subpoenaed. Fox 10 investigative journalist Justin Lum spoke with a prosecutor who helped convict Lori Vallow Daybell in her 2023 Idaho murder trial. She provided some insight on how Lori may select her upcoming jury. Take a listen.
She would make eye contact with certain jurors, predominantly men, and when she would make eye contact with them, she would attempt to get them to engage with her. It was pretty obvious what she was attempting to do.
So cameras are still not allowed inside of the courtroom for jury selection. However, cameras will be allowed for the trial, which is scheduled to start next week. You can scan the QR code there on your screen to watch the trial and all of our coverage of this case over the years. Justin Lum and his team will have a complete wrap-up each day beginning next Monday. Let's take a look at some headlines across Arizona this morning. And a longtime Flagstaff radio broadcaster has been arrested in an operation targeting child sex trafficking and exploitation.
His name is David Zorn, one of 28 people busted by the North Star Task Force operation, booked on suspicion of luring a minor for sexual exploitation. He is in the news and sports director of Flagstaff's KAFF radio station. A statement from the station says Zorn is now on administrative leave and the situation will be addressed as more details are released.
Also in Flagstaff, we're learning about a driver arrested in a road rage confrontation from last month. Police say back on March 19th, this man here, Robert Atherton, drove in front of a Tesla, forcing it to stop. He then approached the vehicle, and that's when a confrontation ensued. Both drivers received minor injuries. Investigators say that the incident was triggered by driving behaviors. It is not clear if the other car, being a Tesla, had anything to do with what happened, but Teslas have been the target of some attacks stemming from the backlash from the company's CEO Elon Musk's role in the Trump administration.
In southern Arizona, the Pima County Sheriff's Office asking people to be on the lookout for an inmate that was mistakenly released from jail. Here's a photograph. The department says Christian Barrio Nuevo was supposed to be sent to his parole officer last Friday after a theft-related arrest. Instead, the 27-year-old was released from custody. If you have any information about his whereabouts, please call 911. This was actually the second time something like this happened last week. Last Thursday, Dimitri Lopez was accidentally released when he reported for pretrial processing when he was mistaken for another inmate with the same last name. The 24-year-old was found and arrested on Sunday.
A warning from Buckeye police this morning about a scam involving what appears to be a missing police officer. A post in a Buckeye Facebook group claims that a female police officer has gone missing from Buckeye, but the department says this is just not true. This is a scam. They say the woman pictured actually works in another state. Similar posts have been seen using the pictures in other Facebook groups across the country. Police are reminding people to think twice about what they read and what they share online.
Wildfire season preparations well underway here in Arizona. Crews warning that Arizona's fire danger could be higher than normal this year.
The Arizona Fire and Forestry Management addressing the situation along with Governor Katie Hobbs yesterday. Arizona has been in drought for several years and the forest is extremely dry. The lack of rain, record hot conditions, and strong winds are leading to this threat of wildfires. Firefighters say crews are working to thin out dry brush and other fuels that help spread fires.
This is one of the most critical years that we've seen in our careers. So now you're going to have an average. You don't need an extreme event right now to have fire carried, and we'll have multiple fires carried through the state. Once that comes, that really stretches the resources very thin then.
Now, crews are confident Arizona does have enough resources to deal with these fires, but warn we may not be able to send help to other states this summer.
So there's the view. Yeah, pretty similar weather, right? The good news is that if you're loving the snow, there is another chance today and especially by tomorrow for a few more snow showers to pass by. Actually, it even looks like potentially into your Thursday, Friday, some passing showers as well. So the high country still looking pretty good when it comes to some winter weather. Wind alerts are still in place as well. You can see anywhere shaded in that lighter brown is under a wind advisory. Those gusts typically more in that 35 to 45 plus range. And then the area in gold you see here along Apache County, this is under a high wind warning. That's where gusts upwards of 50 miles per hour are expected, which can really impact driving and of course anything in the backyard is at threat been knocked on over. So these winds are going to continue through the rest of today. Most of the alerts that are in place expiring around 7 to 8 o'clock this evening. When it comes to our hourly wind forecast for Flagstaff, the strongest winds are through early afternoon. They'll start to weaken some, you can see, into the evening, back down to more like 20 to 25 miles per hour. But during the morning, the rest of the morning, I should say, in the early afternoon, still in that 30 to 40 range for our gusts, which is what we're currently seeing. Then we look at Phoenix. Phoenix, actually, it's going to take some time for those winds to mix in. The cold front moving through, so it's more like midday into the afternoon that we will see our strongest gusts at around 20 to 30 miles per hour, and those wind speeds overall are not enough to cause damage, but definitely enough for you to notice it. And as we've been discussing, for our allergy sufferers, yeah, you might be struggling a bit with the dust that's kicked up today. There's a look at our Fox Vision cloud coverage in place across the state. Little bit of some shower activity trying to make its way to the ground. I'm not convinced it's really doing it yet. This is mostly an open area, but as this continues to slip to the south, there'll be a chance for a few spotty showers in spots like Flagstaff, even down to Prescott today. Here's the hourly forecast, and you can see, I mean, it's very spotty chances. This is at 1 p.m. These scattered little showers, isolated light to steady as it rolls on through. And then at the higher elevations, maybe along the rim, a brief snow shower possible as well. But what falls will likely kind of melt as it does so because temperatures have been fairly warm around the state the last week or so. There's Tuesday evening. Everything's moving on out to the east. We are dry overnight and early tomorrow morning. But once we get into the afternoon hours, there we go again, but this time it looks a little better for coverage, and it also looks a little better for the valley. A chance of a few spotty showers during the middle of the day and into the afternoon. Not a lot of activity, about a 30% chance for some on-off shower coverage, and then scattered rain to snow showers in the high elevations, including around Flagstaff. A little bit of snow possible throughout the day. You can see everything starts to clear overnight and on into Thursday morning. So how much snow are we talking? These are not big totals, but potentially 2 to 4 inches with some melting around Flagstaff and the White Mountains, and up to an inch possible in Window Rock. Outside of Payson and Prescott, a little higher elevation above 6,000 feet, maybe around an inch or so at best. Forecast highs for today: 60 St. John's, 44 for Flagstaff, and 74 degrees here in the valley. And look at the 10-day forecast. Tomorrow we only have a high of 67 degrees. We keep it comfy on your Thursday, Friday in the low 70s, and then we will warm up quite a bit into next week.